what I'm hearing, he put the team first, and that's what you need in the quarterback. And just to see where he throws the ball around, that's something that you would love to see. He moves out of the pocket. He escapes the pocket a lot. So definitely looking to see what he brings to this offense.
Darius, appreciate you being on the show. One of the things that I'm fond of saying about Carson Wentz, even though I think he had a horrible year last year, is that this guy a few years ago was an MVP candidate. And when I talked to Max Kellerman and we talk about bust, I said bust are people that never had it. You understand? Not somebody who had it and then for some reason lost it. So as an NFL player, if you see a quarterback take a dive like he did this last season, where clearly he's not what he once was, but he's still young at age 28, what's the kind of thinking that you guys have about one of your contemporaries that's just fallen off for a season, particularly at the quarterback position? What's the belief system involving that kind of thinking?
Everybody, we play this game to be the best each and every year. And, sometimes in life, you're going to stumble. Sometimes, you're going to fall on your back, but you never get judged from you falling on your back. You get judged on what are you doing when you get back on your feet. And, just seeing the things that, what he's capable of doing. And now he's coming to a new team, new weapons, a great offensive line, a great running core, and a great receivers. And I'm just looking forward to knowing that what he did before his season last year. And hopefully we can have that quarterback come out and hopefully he lead us to the right direction.
Darius, I thought in 2017 Carson Wentz was the best player in the league when he went down with injury. My criticism started in the second half of 2019 where I saw him falling off. I saw a poor quarterback play, but the press lauded him as being great. And I thought, no, it's getting worse and worse and worse. And not only that, he's believing the press clippings, right? You are a great young player. You're not good. You are a great young player. I haven't noticed you reading your press clippings and believing that and slacking off in the slightest. How do you, as a young player, maintain that high level of play without taking things for granted? Because that's the kind of thing Carson Wentz is going to have to do in order to get back to the way he looked. He's going to have to rebuild.
For me, man, my mindset is everybody who talk trash about you, you want to prove them wrong. So, I look at every negative comment that's said about me. I like it on Twitter. I talk about it, and I use it as motivation because, ever since I was in high school, everybody doubted me. So my goal is to prove that, I belong in this league, and I never take anything for granted because my brother played it, and I saw he tore his ACL, and I know how quickly, this thing can end. So you never get complacent. You just want to continue to be the best and continue to work each day. That's the mindset through it all.
Darius, listen, you're an all-pro. You're in this league. You obviously have friends, contemporaries in this league, and I find it very, very difficult to believe that once you heard about Carson Wentz coming to your team, that you haven't spoken to some people, even including maybe some of his former teammates. What are the kind of things you have heard about Carson Wentz that has you at this point where you're feeling good and you're feeling comfortable about him being your quarterback moving forward? Can you share that with us?
Yeah, everybody I talked to only said great things about him. It was more so he's a great leader. He's a great teammate. He's a great father and a husband. And, that's what you need leading the team. You want somebody who's eager to come in, eager, want to work, want to be great. And like you say, he's coming back with Coach Frank, and Coach Frank, one of the greatest offensive mindsets, I think, in his league. And so with him coming here and everybody saying great things, and I feel like, the Colts have a great team, in all three phases, and we just got to somehow put this thing together. With him leading the charge, I think we should be all right.
Well, I agree with that assessment of your team. Your team was just lacking a quarterback with high-end potential in the playoffs. Probably that wasn't Phillip Rivers at that stage in his career, which is why he's no longer playing right now, and you hope that Carson Wentz can get you over the top. Is that the key? Does the quarterback play need to show up in the playoffs, or are there other deficiencies on the team, which looks extremely well balanced, both sides of the ball, that you guys need to get better at in the playoffs?
For me, man, I honestly thought Phillip played well. And if you look at the Super Bowl, what won that ball game? It was defensive play, and I felt like this year we got to be more consistent on defense. We can't just play one great half of football. We got to play four great quarters. So if you want to win games in the playoffs, or you want to win the Super Bowl, you got to have a great defense, and that's what we got to do with the coach. We got to be more consistent on defense, and I put all the weight on my shoulders, and I think that's what we got to do to win the Super Bowl.
Darius, let me ask you this. We talked about at the top of the show, J.J. Watt left the Texans and he's going to Arizona. We know DeAndre Hopkins did, and we've heard that Deshaun Watson obviously wants out as well. How do players around the league feel about potentially playing for the Houston Texans? Like, what's that conversation like right now?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I play. I'm all in with the Indianapolis Colts. That's all I talk about, and I'm not too sure exactly what's going on in Houston. But for the Indianapolis, for the Colts, I mean, I enjoy it. J.J. Watt's gone, so that's one of the edge rushers that we don't have to worry about. And if Deshaun Watson leaves, that's a great quarterback we're facing twice a year. So if he leaves, that helps us out a whole lot. So I don't know exactly what they got going on. We just got to continue what we can do as the Indianapolis Colts. Let's get 1% better each day.
When all of us watched the Super Bowl, we were shell-shocked, not necessarily about Tampa Bay's ability to score 30-plus points on Kansas City's defense, but Kansas City's inability to do anything offensively. We didn't see that coming. And I think that some layer of invincibility was clearly stripped from the Kansas City Chiefs. That's for us as spectators. But as a guy that's playing in the AFC conference that has seen what you have seen from the Kansas City Chiefs, how are you guys, as opponents of the Kansas City Chiefs and anybody else in the AFC, how are you guys feeling about that conference now, particularly with the vulnerabilities you saw Kansas City get exposed to in this past Super Bowl?
We believe that, Kansas City is a great team. And, as you've seen in 2019 when we played them at home, at their spot, and we beat them, it's just more so we got to keep Patrick Mahomes in the well. All his pocket, all his big-time plays, it's a lot of it coming from outside of the pocket. And you saw in the Super Bowl that the Tampa Bay defense kept him in the pocket a lot, didn't allow him to make more time with his feet, and that's when he's most dangerous. So we got to continue, to follow that route, and hopefully, when we face him again, hopefully we can continue to beat him.
Focused and ready to go. I love it. Before we let you roll, tell us about the Maniac Foundation and why you started it.
The Maniac Foundation, I started it because, I'm a guy from a small town. I love to give back. There's so many people who helped me on my journey to get where I'm at. So I wanted to return the favor. And so now I want to come back. I want to help our kids in Indy, in my hometown, Lakeview, South Carolina, to, give back to families in need, especially we want to talk about, people who don't have enough food on their table, getting the kids back into education, making sure they falling in love with, doing their schoolwork. And we definitely want to, make sure that they're staying healthy, make sure they're active. So, if you want to learn more about the foundation, you go to maniacfoundation.org, or you can follow us on social media, Maniac Cares. That's the Instagram handle. So just got to give back. That's one thing about me. I just love to give back, because you never know what kid needs help. And I was once a kid that needed help. So just as much as I can give back, the much more I can do.
That's beautiful. Props to you. Darius, thank you so much for the time today. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks a lot, bro.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you.